The Golden State Warriors might never lose another game ever again. Okay, that might not be true, but we're now 5 games into preseason and the Dubs are still undefeated. And even though it's preseason, winning 5 consecutive games, particularly the last 3 games against a Kings team, Pistons team, and Lakers team that were all playing at full strength, tells me that this Dubs team is entering this season with a different level of motivation. And honestly, it's not just about the motivation. If you've watched the Warriors in preseason, this does not look like a team playing preseason, particularly a team with so many different new players. The chemistry, the ball movement, and the intensity on both sides of the floor has been great. Just look at the movement on this play, where Trace gets the ball up top. You have Draymond setting a brush screen to divert Reeves's and D'Lo's attention before TJD sets a second screen for Steph, with Kuminga passing it to him, and well, it's Steph Curry. And probably the best indication of just how deep and how well this overall Warriors team is playing is they comfortably beat a Lakers team with Buddy Hield and Steph Curry combining for 10 of 31 from the field and 5 of 20 from 3-point range. That is not going to happen very often. The same 2 guys that have made the most threes in the NBA over the last 5 years couldn't buy a bucket from 3-point range, yet the Warriors still won. And that's because they got an even contribution from everyone across the board, including Jonathan Kuminga, who was particularly good in the first quarter. Look at him bring the ball up the floor here, and because of that improved jump shot, Anthony Davis is guarding him a bit closer, which allows JK to then use his speed to get ahead of steam before spinning off him and finishing. And we saw this more than once, where that added threat of his shooting from not just 3-point range, but from the mid-range, he utilized to draw the defender closer to him, and then once you're too close to him, he has that ridiculous speed and change of speed to get past you in a flash. Even a defender as good as Anthony Davis couldn't do anything to stop Jonathan Kuminga in the first quarter, or even on a play like this where he blew past LeBron and then made a great interior pass to Trace Jackson Davis. I'll say it again, but his shooting is going to open up the game for him. And honestly, I may as well mention it with every single player, because the Warriors game plan has been consistent every single game of preseason. Shoot, shoot, and shoot some more. And the beauty of taking so many threes is it opens up the floor for the Dubs to be more efficient inside the arc. Not just for a guy like Jonathan Kuminga to blow past his defender, but for cutters like GP2, Wiggins, Moody, and even Draymond. Because the defense is so drawn out and focused on what's happening beyond the arc that it just leaves so much more space in the paint for easy buckets. And it also helps when you have the gravity of someone like Stephen Curry. Like on this play, where it looks like the Dubs are running their patented pin down for Steph with Dre setting the screen, but both Lakers defenders jump out, and well, Dre has a wide open lane to the rim. And this is also an underrated part of Trace Jackson Davis's game. He's not just a guy that will go up and catch lobs. Already as a second-year player, he will recognize backdoor cutters and open shooters when he gets the ball facing the basket. He will even do it out of short pick and roll situations, out of fake dribble handoffs. He's got similar traits to someone like Draymond Green. Maybe not as comfortable putting the ball on the floor, but he's also extremely athletic, and I think as time goes on, we're going to see him use those traits not just to create opportunities for other players, but to create opportunities for himself. And when he starts doing that and becoming a more lethal scorer, well, the Warriors are just going to have another problem for the NBA to deal with. Now, one guy who has already taken that step as a scorer is Moses Moody. Moses Moody. Wow. What I love about the way Moses is playing isn't the numbers, it's the aggressiveness and the willingness to take shots that he wouldn't have taken last year. Watch him here bring the ball up the floor. He sees the help from Hayes on the initial drive, so he pitches it to Looney, gets it back, and then comfortably navigates the screen for the jumper. And this is the beauty of playing for the Golden State Warriors. You don't have to be the greatest dribbler or shot creator ever. You just have to be smart with your movements, because if you give the ball to Loon or Dre or Trace, they will know exactly when to give you the ball back and how to screen to create that extra bit of separation. And with Moody's wingspan, if he gets the handoff, it's very, very difficult for a defender to block his shot from behind. And I'll say this again, but this changes everything about Moses Moody's game. If he can consistently knock down threes off movement, if he can utilize dribble handoffs to get to his mid-range spot or even go all the way to the rim, he's going to give himself every chance to be a starter when you combine that with his size, his length, and defensive versatility. And if that isn't convincing enough, here's another example from the same game. His first shot of that game, where he initially has LeBron isolated up top. He doesn't love that matchup, but instead of settling, he gives it up to Loon, and with a nice little screen from Buddy, he moves into the three and knocks it down. And this is what I love about the entire Warriors offense throughout preseason. There is no settling, there is no hero ball. If you don't love the matchup, you move the ball and a better shot will be found for you or for someone else. And someone else who epitomizes this is Buddy Hield. If guarding Steph Curry wasn't enough, you have another guy who is somehow moving just as much, just as fast, and is almost just as dangerous from three-point range. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but he's pretty damn dangerous. And the great thing about Buddy Hield is not only can he give you movement shooting and off-the-catch expertise, but sometimes you just need a guy that you can throw the ball to at the end of the shot clock and he will get you a decent opportunity. A shot that looks like a prayer, but for guys like Steph, for guys like Buddy, it's a decent opportunity. Just like on this play where he's thrown the ball with just a few seconds left on the shot clock and he makes it happen. Now, with all of this talk about shooting and scoring and young players, what I like about this Warriors team is they also have guys capable of doing it on the other end of the floor. Obviously, Draymond Green is Draymond Green. Kyle Anderson has been good defensively, and hopefully Andrew Wiggins is back to his best this season, but there are two guys who I haven't mentioned all preseason. They aren't new signings, they aren't young players, but they have the potential to be like new signings this season. I'm talking about Kevon Looney and Gary Payton II. The last time the Golden State Warriors won a championship, these two guys were absolutely incredible. The defense and energy from GP2, the rebounding and defense from Loon, you couldn't have asked for a better duo of role players. But unfortunately, over the last couple of seasons, they have struggled with injuries, and you saw them lack that same burst. GP2 going from someone that would dunk on literally anyone to someone that was only dunking occasionally. Looney going from someone that was moving his feet and rebounding like a madman to not doing either of those things just as well. Well, it's only preseason, but both of those guys seem to be moving so much better to start the year. And if they can carry that into this season without as much expectations on their shoulders, it could be like having two new signings who are also veterans and know how to play within the Warriors system to a T. Now, if you want to see me continue to talk about this, consider subscribing. If you want to see me talk about Moses Moody, Trace Jackson Davis, any of those videos, click here. Either way, have a great day. Bye.